What's up, emo geeks? Welcome back to another episode. We are joined again this week with the amazing team from MKTGRhythm, just a VIP squad of amazing email marketers and designers. I'm really excited to walk through some of these emails, a different take on some of the types of emails that we've usually covered on this show. I don't think we've ever covered like a toy selection, so I'm really excited to walk through some of these and talk about them. First off, this big attention-grabbing GIF up top, sort of cycling through these different colors. Is this something you guys designed to put together?
This is one of my favorite emails ever, and this was all Kathy, so I'm gonna let her speak to that.
When I first was requested this, I really loved the colors of this line, and I thought that each color needed its own, moment. We work a lot in Figma, and they have the feature of smart animation, and usually it's used with websites, but I thought that, I don't design websites, I do emails, and I was just thinking it would be a fun way to kind of implement that into this GIF.
I'm going to be honest. I feel like I'm getting a Tide Pod effect here. Like I do kind of want to eat these. I don't know why. I want to put these, I want to eat these a little bit. But
you and our 14-month-old.
Exactly.
You cannot eat plus plus.
Okay.
PSA,
Yeah. All right.
Don't eat them.
Do not eat these.
Do not consume them. They're like food grade plastic, but do not consume.
All right. Yes.
Building on what Kathy was just saying, this was super clever on her part. So she actually figured out how to use Smart Animate to frame animate in Figma, the transition and sort of the spinning motion of these plus plus around the circle. We were actually doing kind of screen recording basically to capture their Smart Animate rotation. So it's just, I think, a good example of like being innovative and nimble as a designer to do something really cool with the tools you have at your disposal.
This design introduced me to Easy GIF. So
Nice. All right. Well, kind of scrolling down to the rest of the email, I kind of like the different layouts and desktop and mobile. I think I want to sort of call that out. I like how that content is kind of switching up and stacking a little bit differently. And then, yeah, just a very nice contrast, grabbing my attention, CTA at the bottom. I really like the full width style on this too. I think it kind of works with the rest of this type of email. It feels very like tactile in a way to me as well. So
Yeah, the full width button I think is a controversial topic. I've heard people be like, "Oh, why are you doing that?" And then other people be like, "I love that." For us, and we do it pretty consistently. For me, I think it's just a mobile first mindset, understanding many of our users, at least in the retail space, are going to see this on their phones and making sure that that feels appropriately sized in the mobile context, even if it means that it's a little bit more bold on the desktop version.
yeah, and I'm a fan of this try section. I really tend to not really like, I really am a big fan of like one column emails for the most part, which doesn't always work out for me, but I really like this layout. I think it really like ties these products together, and I haven't really seen a brand do that effectively before. So nice work on this one. That's really cool to see. And then again, a very shoppable category specific footer. I'm a big fan of this. All right, we'll keep walking through these to the next type of email. I was gonna say it is like I do like a product on a white background, but I do think it is nice to sort of sometimes see like the product in use. So it is nice to see like this being pulled in. I'm not sure if you guys have used like lifestyle images on some of your other like emails, like people playing with these toys or something. But I like that kind of in like the real life aspect of showing the product in use in other ways too. So.
Plus Plus has a blend of product and lifestyle photography, so we're able to use both of those. But I think in this case with Isoscapes, it's seeing the environmental shot rather than the isolated shot gives you a context of like the audience a little bit. That this is maybe a piece that's less young kid oriented, and an adult might enjoy and have on their desktop. So I think it gives a little bit of context when you're able to use some of the lifestyle or environmental photography.
This is one that's like a little bit more complicated for their product line. So just trying to bring this to life in a different way than has been done in the past, and was just really cool to be able to kind of like see this come to life in a way that like you see that the rendering of the different base plate with the box and the different colors that come along with it, and made it exciting and engaging. And I love the way that the GIF has the items popping up and kind of using that same like different background changes, like following the same, like, and just realizing like the more aquatic ones have a blue background and the other ones have a different background. And then the arrow pointing down kind of like gives her a nice like directing movement.
I think the challenge with using Figma to create GIFs and doing a screen recording and then converting it is that you can't have that cool transition where it's like compatible with dark mode too. So having that subtle arrow kind of gives a little bit of a transition.
I do think some of these like could benefit with like some opacity hover effects on some of these hovers. I think that could maybe just let people know that something is clickable as well. Overall, I really like these big chunky CTAs. I think they, like you said, that mobile first mentality is definitely the way to go. And I'm sure this audience maybe even skews pretty mobile, but I like how big these are, especially to visualize both the product types and then also them just being very like big and tappable as well. So
From a design scheme perspective, just the corner rounding is sort of something that we've implemented across the board just to give it a little more playful kind of vibe. So you see that on buttons, obviously, but also a lot of times in the tiles, in call out graphics that we put in column, places like that, just softening things up a little bit to make them feel a little more fun.
sweet. All right, well, let's look at the next example here. I do sort of like this breaking the mold of the other sort of templates, taking this over, adding that gradient. Definitely brings me back to some like 90s vibes in some ways. I like that a lot.
One of our talented content strategist, Bailey, actually had the idea of having a full email design. And I was thinking when she first asked, I was like, we can do that. Like, we can make the design be implemented throughout the whole thing. So yeah, this definitely took a lot more time than, just a simple header design, but I wanted to really have that feel of like this is a continuous design that goes throughout, and kind of breaking up the single product image that we were given and just like scattering it throughout the email, and using colorful text kind of brings out like what the product is about.
I think like this kind of gradient blur is what I would call it. I don't know. I think if you add like a blur right or some gradients, it kind of makes that like glassy sort of opaque like feel. I really am a fan of that. I do think this is a little hard to read, maybe getting close to here, but overall, I think very cool idea for a design. It definitely like grabbed my attention and made me like kind of want to scroll down and read more about this emails for sure.
The subtle little movement in the product image in there is wonderful too.
Yeah, big fan. So is this just kind of moving the layers around for on this GIF?
Yeah, I just broke up like all the pieces and just kind of moved it one by one.
But yeah, I think even like this, a 3 frame GIF or whatever it is, I think it can be really effective in just adding some animation, especially if you don't have a lot of budget and resources to do something like really extensive, or you don't have like the product photography to do it. I think adding something like that just grabs your attention scrolling down, and I think it's like an effective place in the email as well to do that.
We try to be careful about using more than one GIF in any single email. And so this is a situation, I think, where we went more of a static approach for the header, that was highly visual and attention grabbing on its own, didn't really need motion. But then if we're doing that, then why not take the opportunity to add a little bit of motion midstream to kind of keep people.
Nice. And I'm a huge advocate for gradient CTAs. They are very rare, so when I see them, it's very cool because I think I like that a lot, and I'm a big fan of it. But we're doing some like CTA research, and we don't really usually see a lot of brands to do that. But I think this is a really creative way in tying these two sections together. I think it's really smart.
I had to bring a lot of colors to this. The product is called Colorverse, so like wanted to bring some like vibrant, bright like design to this, like to do it justice.
Is there any, have you guys ever like broken this kind of mold outside of like the 600 or 680 template style and kind of let like these colors kind of go full width?
I don't think we've done that a ton. No, I'm not against it. It's just we typically, when we onboard a client, we go through a whole exercise of kind of design system building, and universal blocks and kind of building a framework so that we can be really nimble and fast as we're moving through. So we tend to stick to base templates for most things. This is, to Kathy's point, a situation where we kind of break the mold more than we usually do. And we're often doing that where we have a greater depth of content in the email than we typically would have, or we've got fun facts or numbers or things like this that we can call out. So that usually drives, hey, let's change this up a little bit and do something different.
Anything else for plus pluses, I guess, overall, like goals with email? Is there like a specific thing they're trying to do with their audience?
A lot of times they want to keep people using the product, engaging with it, and keep people coming back. They do distribute through a good number of channels. I think they have like over 10,000 retail channel partners around the country. They sell on Amazon. So giving people a lot of different ways to again, engage with that product. And then also building out their direct-to-consumer presence too, to try to, again, be able to keep people coming back. And they see different, like some growth in a few different groups of like parents, grandparents, gift givers, and then also a good amount in the education space. So it kind of like has a bunch of different functional uses, and especially with this one rolling out a new product line, like this one's really cool just to be able to kind of introduce something in addition to what somebody else already may have.
Plus Plus does a great job of like being very transparent about like the human beings behind the brand, which is really cool. So we didn't see any examples here, but what they do in the hybrid email side is really authentic and personal. And even like the CEO like popping up in video content has been something they've been trying lately, and we use and recycle a lot of that in the email space too. But being very like just fun as a brand, both in your brand design, but also in how you present yourself as the team that's making the product. They're awesome at that.
They're just like a wonderful group. Like you just like get excited to go like connect with them, like meet with them.
Yeah, I feel like you all are lucky that you have some fun clients that you guys work with. So cool. Well, thanks so much for chatting through these emails. I'm a big fan of these. Definitely check out Marketing Rhythm. They do amazing email work.
Again, if you have questions or inquiries, just reach out to us at Marketing Rhythm.
Sweet. All right. Well, thanks again for chatting. Have a great rest of your week.
Thank you.
Thank you.